Chapter 12, Section 1 is reflections. Our objective is to understand what an isometry is and be able to draw a reflection. We have an isometry, or a transformation, is a movement that does not change the shape or size of a figure. And we have four. We're going to start out with reflections. We have rotations. We have translations, which is a slide, and then we have glide reflections. So four different types of isometries: reflections, rotations, translations, and glide reflections. Today we're going to look at reflections, and we have some nice pictures of reflections for you. And right here we have a triangle, and it's reflected over this line right here. This is called the reflection line, or line of reflection. And there are two relationships here, and they're marked. If you connect the pre-image and the image, and I'm going to write here that this is the pre-image and this is the image. If you connect those, the reflecting line is the perpendicular bisector of that segment. That means right here we have a perpendicular, and that means these two pieces are equal. A reflection is a transformation across a line called the line of reflection, so that it is the perpendicular bisector of each segment joining a point in its image. And then we need to say whether these are reflections. This is a no. And I will tell you now on your test, it's actually going to ask you which type it is. This would be a translation. That one is a reflection, and that's the reflecting line. See, when you look at it, it kind of looks like it is, but then when you look closer, you realize these things don't match up. So that's a no. And then that one is a yes. Example 2, we are asked to draw the reflections across the line. So we're going to take tracing paper, and I'm going to trace the reflecting line, and then I'm going to trace my shape, and then I'm going to pick up my paper and flip it over, and the reflecting line is going to line up again, and then we trace over our shape, and there you have the figure reflected over the line. Letter B, again, you trace the segment, trace the shape, and then you pick it up, flip it over, and line it up and trace everything again. Letter C, I'm going to trace the line, trace the shape, and pick it up and flip it over. And if you're at home and you don't have tracing paper, you can use just regular like computer paper, or you can also sometimes just kind of eyeball it. Perpendicular, 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 and perpendicular. And that's just kind of a sketch. On our coordinate plane, we have three different reflections that we're going to do. if you reflect across your x-axis, it's going to be written like this. You're going to take the point xy, and if you start up here and reflect over your x-axis, it's going to come down here. So that's going to become x negative y. And that's the first example we have. We have the triangle 2, 1, negative 4, negative 3, and 3, 2. Oops, I did that wrong, didn't I? How about 2, negative 1, and 3, 2. So there's my triangle, x, y, and z. And when we reflect over the x-axis, we change our y coordinates. So our new points are going to be 2, 1, negative 4, 3, and 3, negative 2. So our new triangle, that will be x prime. Negative 4, 3 will be y prime. And 3, negative 2 is z prime. The pre-image is right here, and the image is there. Now if you reflect across the y-axis, you start with this point, and you move it over here, so your x value changes. So if you reflect across the y-axis, your x changes. That becomes negative x, y. So this triangle, we start with negative 2, 2, which is r, 5, 0, which is s, and 0, negative 3, which is t. Our new coordinates, if we're reflecting this over the line y equals x. I haven't done that one yet. So let's look up here, reflecting over the line y equals x. You start with xy. This is your line y equals x. So to flip it over there, you just switch your x and y around. So if you reflect over the line y equals x, xy becomes yx. So this one, moving these around, we will have 2, negative 2, 0, 5, and negative 3, 0. So 2, negative 2 is right there. 0, 5 is right there, and negative 3, 0 is right there. And when we connect those three, I'm going to kind of shade that in. And just to kind of draw it in here, right here, that is the line y equals x, and you can see we're reflecting over that line. And now we get to reflecting over the y-axis. I'm going to draw my triangle in here first. Negative 3, 4, negative 3, 1, negative 1, 1, and negative 1, 4. I guess that's not a triangle, it's a rectangle. When you reflect over the y-axis, you change your x. So we're going to change the first coordinate. 3, 4, 3, 1, 1, 1, and 1, 4. So 3, 4 is s prime, 3, 1 is t prime, 1, 1 is u prime, and 1, 4 is v prime. And I probably should have these things in parentheses. And we've taken this point and this figure and reflected it over the y-axis.